Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the podcast where we talk all things film and television in real time. My name is Ryan, and I work in the film industry.
And I'm Noah, a sports broadcaster. Today we're talking about new looks from the Odyssey, Timothée Chalamet, some new MCU news, and then, of course, we'll play a game. Ryan, how's it going?
It's good, Noah. It's Thursday. It's Wicked release day today. Super excited for that. How are you? How are you?
Yeah, I'm excited for Wicked for Good. Going to see it in a couple days. And, of course, we each saw one movie that came out this past weekend. We'll reveal which one we each saw in a minute or two. And, yeah, we're right in the thick of it. We talked about how big of a movie month November is. And, yeah, we're right in the middle, so I'm pretty pumped up.
Yeah, we're really gearing up to give our end of the month rankings. Earlier this month on our second episode of the podcast, we did our rankings for anticipated movies of November. And now we kind of both have a better picture of where those movies line up. So yeah, it's been a good month for movies, I'd say.
It's been a great month for movies. It's going to be an even better month for movies in the next week or so. And then Stranger Things comes out. Yeah, I have the hour count on my phone for how many hours it is until Stranger Things. I'm so excited, man. If the listeners couldn't tell by now, we're pretty excited about the season coming.
Dude, you're like the biggest Stranger Things fan I think I know.
No. There's no way. You can't call me that because then I'm gonna feel guilty because I didn't start watching it in 2016.
Noah, when we've made these podcasts, every single episode, all you've wanted to talk about, and I agree, I love Stranger Things, but every single time, Stranger Things, Stranger Things, that it's on the top of your mind. You're obsessed.
I am. Look, I'm in the middle of my fourth rewatch. I'm currently on season 4, episode 5 of my not fourth rewatch like now of the year or whatever. In general, like my fourth rewatch ever.
That's
of the
a
show.
lot. That's a lot.
Is it?
Okay. You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan. I am. I'm a big fan. It's a great show. And then I'm up to. I just watched Dear Billy, one of the best episodes of the show. That I watched that last night. So I have a few more to go, and then it'll leave me right into November 26th.
Yeah, I am pumped too. I'm really, really excited. So can't wait to have many more conversations with you about that. But there goes my light. Let me fix that. In the meantime, Noah, what did you watch this week?
Great question. First of all, just want to say, like Ryan and I always say, thanks to all the fans, thanks to all the listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, the viewers on YouTube, everybody who's subscribed. We're up to 90 subscribers. So I'm sure we'll have a little toast when we officially get to 100, which should only be in a few days, the pace we're on right now. And yeah, just once again, we always appreciate everybody tuning in.
Maybe an in-person toast because we're going to be both together in New York for Thanksgiving. So if we can get to 100 subscribers by then, that would be awesome, I think. So
yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You asked me something new I watched in the past week. So watched a couple things. One of them I already said it was in the movie theaters. One of them was not. The thing that was not was The Studio, which I believe you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
My brother Aaron convinced me to watch it, which is funny. A Seth Rogen comedy. Usually nobody has to twist my arm, but he was like, you know what? Trust me. It's so good. And it's funny because we talk a lot about movies, TVs. It kind of gave you. It reminded me of. It was different, but like I love the show Entourage. Entourage, you get to see, the actor side of things, where he has his agent and he has his manager, and they're literally an entourage going around in LA, and it's like their lifestyle and everything. This was definitely not that picture, but it was from the perspective of the head of a studio, Continental. So it was similar to Entourage in a way. They had their cameos. It was pretty cool like that, but it was like more of a dive into the movie and TV realm. So I think, especially for this podcast, it was kind of a perfect thing for me to watch right now, and it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's great show. It basically swept the Emmys, by the way, Noah, because I know you're watching it a little delayed, but it's not just us who loves the show. People love The Studio. And yeah, I actually compare it a little bit more to like The Office, I think, but obviously not a paper company. If it was the office of a major studio and you had someone like Michael Scott running a major studio, I think Seth Rogen kind of falls under that same kind of cringy character but likable, but also passionate like Michael Scott. So that's kind of the comparison I've used for it. But yeah, as someone who works in the film industry, I loved the studio. Also, just a great cast. My coworker, Catherine Hahn from Madden, shout out to her. She's so funny. She's so funny. But yeah, I love the studio.
It was pretty awesome. I think it was also very chaotic, and it was fast paced. Like, and then there was the like noir episode, and then you have the wonder episode, and it was like I think the concepts were good. Like, there's the episode where there's the sexism and the racism, and then they have to figure out how to like all the cast has to be black, and that was an entire episode. And then there was an episode where all of them are high, and it's like these kind of basic concepts, but the execution is so good. like we've seen these kind of jokes before in media where everyone's high. Okay, we've seen that before, but like how they pull it off, they did such a good job.
It's so smart and it's so well made. And I mean, if that episode with the oneer, I don't know if you noticed this, the whole episode is a oneer. It's like it's so meta, the show, and the Scorsese cameo, and it's a great show. I'm pumped for season 2, which I believe was greenlit. So yeah, it's the perfect show for us.
Yep, I agree. Studio, thumbs up. Another thing I saw, it was Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Nice.
I did. This was one of our movies that we ranked. You ranked this number 8 going into the month. I ranked this number 3. And I know you haven't seen it yet, so I won't spoil anything, but I will say that I thought it was fine. Yeah, a lot of what you said held up. A lot of what you said ended up being true, because there were some moments, and again, cut me off from spoiling too much. I don't think I'm going to give away any like plot points or details or anything. But there were some moments where it was, the new cast being cool and like better at certain things than the usual cast that we're used to, and it was like, come on, I want to see the guys who in the past 2 movies do all the cool stuff. So there was some of that which you predicted, but honestly, my main problem with it was the villain was so bad. Like, there's the antagonist. She was just we talked about villains last episode. Lotso and Dolores Umbridge, I said, were 2 villains I hate because they're so well written. I thought this was a villain I hated because they were so poorly written. Like, that's how I felt. It was just it took me out of the movie at times. So I enjoyed seeing the main cast of characters. I really enjoyed seeing Morgan Freeman, and there were a lot of really, really cool moments. It was fun, because of course it's going to be fun. But overall, I thought it was fine. I'd honestly be surprised if it was still top 3 in the final ranking of November. But I didn't dislike it. I just didn't love it.
It seems to be pretty much what I expected it to be. And if anything, this means I'm probably not going to rush to the theaters to see it.
It's fun. It's fun. But yeah,
I'm sure it is. Is there a good sequence in it? Kind of like that one sequence in Now You See Me 2 where they're getting through security and stuff. Is there a good scene that sticks out like that, at least?
Yes, nothing as good as that. That is so awesome. But there are good sequences, and of course there's a reveal at the end, because that's the whole point. There's a reveal at the end of all 3 movies, so the reveal's good. There are some cool sequences, and then I think anything more I say would probably be spoiler-esque. So, but yeah, yeah, it was fun. It's funny, Dave Franco is the common denominator, I guess, for me recently. He was in both things that I've seen in the past week.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the other thing you said?
The studio. He wasn't a main character, but he was a main character in the final 2 episods.
Yeah, he was. I was like,
he was so funny. So funny. He's so entertaining. I like him in everything. And he's not like I don't care. I don't care. He's not like an incredible actor. Like, I like him in everything. He's entertaining. He's good.
And I don't know if you saw that movie Together with him and his wife, Alison Brie. It was great too. Not great. It was really fun and good, and I like the concept. I think he's great. So yeah, good to see him popping up more and more and stuff, because I felt like I didn't see him for a little bit. So that's nice.
Talk to me. What have you seen the past week?
Yeah. I watched something really good. We'll start with the really good one. I watched Frankenstein. So I might have mentioned this last week because I started a little bit of it, but I actually rewatched it from the beginning because I really, really like this movie. So much so, it wasn't this originally, but right now it's number one on my 2025 ranking, Frankenstein, for a variety of reasons. First of all, Noah, you got to check it out. I mean, if you're a fan of film, this is a amazing feat of a movie. It is beautiful. The sets are expansive. It is the perfect example of a film that proves why AI could never replace filmmaking, because you really feel how practical all the sets are, how practical, it's all about Frankenstein and creating a monster. So they have a bunch of body parts and they have a bunch of just all these really, really cool props that look so realistic and tangible. And it's fascinating. You're watching an art piece. So that's the first thing. You can watch this movie without the sound on and just be amazed and floored by how beautiful and just how much craftsmanship went into this. As someone who works on film and production design, and I'm in part of a team that we design sets, I cannot imagine the amount of money and the amount of people and effort that went into making this. I mean, there's a Netflix documentary supposedly about how they made it, and that's my next watch because I want to learn as much as I can. On top of that, I'm not super familiar with the original Frankenstein story that this is based off of, but I really like the story that was told. I don't know how different or similar it is to that original one, but I thought the character arcs of both Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster were beautiful, and they intersect in the perfect way, and they contradict each other in perfect ways. It's great, and it has an amazing conclusion, and their performances are great. We already know Oscar Isaac is amazing. He's amazing in this, and Jacob Elordi, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you might have heard he's great as Frankenstein's monster. It's not an understatement. He's really, really awesome. He's someone I haven't seen a ton of his stuff. I haven't seen Euphoria. I haven't seen, The Kissing Booth. So it was nice to see this guy that's name's kind of consistently floated around being able to do something that I really respect and admired. Not that I don't respect those other movies. They're just not my genre. So Frankenstein is currently my number one movie of the year. I'm just floored by how incredible it was. So have you been hearing good things about it?
I have. You just gave a better review than I've heard. Not that I've heard bad reviews or anything, but you just gave a pretty awesome review about it. So I guess I'll have to check it out.
I mean it. I watched it, I watched half of it, then I rewatched the whole thing again because I wanted to start fresh, and it was, yeah, it's incredible. So,
and I believe you saw something in theaters.
I did. I saw The Running Man. And as much as I liked Frankenstein, I did not like The Running Man that much. It is, I mentioned a few weeks ago that I watched the original Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was very cheesy, and, it seemed like a good concept that could be done way better. And I don't necessarily think they succeeded in doing it way better. All the things that were cheesy kind of stay cheesy in this, but actually become a little bit more cringy, I'd say. I don't think Glenn Powell's a great actor, actually. I love him in Top Gun Maverick, but there were many times in this movie that I like him as a person too, but there were many times in this movie that I was just like, come on, I looked at my friend who I was with and I was like, that is just so cringy or so over the top. And, there's good moments. I think at a point I realized that it's way more of a comedy than it is an action or thriller. And once I realized it's a comedy, I kind of liked it a little bit more. But then that third act just completely kind of goes off the rails in a way that it's just like, why? This doesn't really make much sense or isn't really that creative. And once the third act ended, I was like, yeah, this I didn't enjoy The Running Man. Yeah.
Was it a combination, or was it that Glenn wasn't good, or the material that he had to work with wasn't good, or was it a combination? Sounds like it was a combination.
Probably a combination of the two. And that's the other thing is I love Edgar Wright. We talked about Edgar Wright. It didn't feel like an Edgar Wright movie to me. There was nothing in it that spoke to me like, oh, this is Edgar Wright. This is out there. This is super creative. It wasn't that to me. It felt like a stereotypical cheesy action comedy that, I don't know. I'm disappointed.
Well, now that we've seen the studio, we know how executives could interfere with with directors. So maybe that exact scene that happened in the studio happened.
It's all Seth Rogen's fault, is what you're saying.
Yes, precisely.
So anyway, it was a good week.
Well, that's
Really good week.
unfortunate. Just like you said with mine, I guess I'm not going to go rushing to the theaters to see it. Then I'll see it. I'll see it.
You might
But
say you're not going to go running to the theaters. You might not be the running
that was
man.
that was good. Wasn't nearly as good as your joke last week with with somehow Woody has returned. That was elite. That was
Thanks.
pretty elite. But all right, so yeah, we each saw two things. We knocked off two combined of our ranking, two pretty high up ones. At least one of them for me. And yeah, I guess we'll let each other know when we see the other one.
Definitely.
All right, topics time. Let's get into the Odyssey. Now, I know obviously not coming out until July, but I might as well have a countdown on my phone as well for that because I'm pretty excited for it. And what game were we playing? You chose the Odyssey. It was the game where if we had a time machine to go forward in the future, which movie would you see right now? And you chose the Odyssey. So you're obviously excited for this as well. We got some new looks. We saw Tom Holland, a close-up of Tom Holland, who's in the movie of his arms. Who's not going to enjoy that? We saw Matt Damon. We saw Matt Damon wide shot. He looks sick. We saw Anne Hathaway. Big year for her. There were a lot of shots, and then there were some Christopher Nolan quotes I'm going to read. But I guess before I read some of those quotes, what do you like out of what you've seen from the Odyssey this past week?
I guess the better question is, what don't I like? And the answer is nothing. It's great. It's exactly what you'd expect from a high budget Odyssey movie directed by Christopher Nolan. It's not like we got a ton of material, but I'm just happy to have something that I can finally, see that this is a real thing.
I'm going to read two quotes.
Yeah.
First quote is he said, "We got the cast who play the crew of Odysseus' ship out there on the real waves in the real places. They shot over 2 million feet of film." Are we surprised at this point?
No, I mean, this is exactly what we were just talking about with Frankenstein. This stuff makes a difference. It really, really does. As a viewer, you can feel it you can feel it because you feel immersed in the worlds. The actors feel immersed in these real big sets that they build, and that helps their performances. So I don't expect anything less from Christopher Nolan. And yeah, what else did he say?
Oh, this is such a bar. You've probably seen this. It's all over. He confirmed it was the first feature film to be filmed entirely with IMAX film cameras, and the quote is, "I did not destroy an IMAX camera on this film. I have destroyed several in my time, but these ones survived the Odyssey." Come on.
They survived the journey across the sea.
Come on.
That's
Come on,
sick.
man. He's the coolest.
He's really, really cool. And IMAX. I mean, I'm going to be there in an IMAX theater, of course. I mean, they sold tickets for the 70 millimeter or whatever it was like a year in advance. So, yeah, you got to see this movie on the biggest screen possible, and he's already starting to make that known.
Now I know, of course, podcast is called In Real Time. We're going to get we're going to get to the news of this past week, of course. Looking ahead to July, though, it's pretty awesome month, July of 2026, because we have Brand New Day in addition to the Odyssey. That means it is a big month for Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Jon Bernthal, who all star in both of those movies in July of 2026. So that's going to be pretty spectacular.
That's huge. It's pretty funny how that worked out, huh? Yeah, big months for them. Big months for film fans. I'm not much more to say besides I'm pumped for both those movies, and I'm very excited to see Tom Holland have a little bit more of a serious role. We've really only seen him as Spider-Man, and he's incredible, of course. And he's done, a few TV shows here and there, but nothing. I don't think he's had the material yet that has really allowed him to become mainstream beyond Spider-Man. And I think this is his opportunity. So I think it's nice that in the same month you get to experience Tom Holland doing what we love Tom Holland to do as Peter Parker, Spider-Man, but then also, also get to see him take on a new challenge. It's really exciting.
I'm glad you brought that up because that perfectly segues into our next topic. You were talking about Tom Holland, his acting a more serious role. Well, Timothée Chalamet has been in a bunch of serious roles. He's known as one of the best actors of his generation, maybe the best. Did you see the new Marty Supreme trailer? I know there was originally a Marty Supreme trailer that's coming out on Christmas Day, like a few months ago, and then a new one came out this week.
I did see it. And I really, really, really liked it. Um, I I have so many thoughts in this movie. So the first thing is I'm hearing great reviews about it. People are loving this movie. I love the whole concept of dream big, follow your dreams, and that's the big tagline for this movie. It's funny that that's a tagline because I think about Timothy's speech at I think it was the SAG Awards this year. I don't know if you saw this speech, but he basically goes on a big rant about how he wants to be one of the greats. He wants to be up there with, not only the greatest actors as who does he name? He names Daniel Day-Lewis and Viola Davis, but he says Michael Jordan and Babe Ruth, and for him to take on a role that kind of seems to follow a similar mindset of where he is in terms of acting about this guy Marty who wants to be the best at what he does. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat, and the trailer looks great. It's one of those things where it's like you hear it on paper, a ping pong movie, a movie about someone who's trying to become a professional ping pong player. Like, oh, you know, how does that that doesn't sound too appealing to me. But when you have the names like Safdie and Chalamet attached to it, and Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's my most anticipated movie for the rest of the year now. So,
Is Timothée Chalamet the best actor of his generation? I looked it up. I looked up. Basically, it would be actors in their 20s. So it
yeah,
would be anyone in all their 20s. I don't think there's, no offense to the others who I'm about to name, I don't think there is a ton of serious competition in terms of that level. So I think the answer is yes. And it seems like you agree.
yeah. I mean, Timothy Chalamet is the biggest star in his 20s. If you just look at his work, you have a sci-fi epic adventure like Dune and Dune Part Two. You have a musical like Wonka. You have Lady Bird and Call Me by Your Name, which are on total opposite ends of the spectrum. You have his Interstellar. I mean, not that he has a huge part in that, but um, a Chris Nolan movie in there. You have what am I? You have a music biopic. He really can do anything and everything, and he throws himself into these roles, and he's so passionate about it. That's why he's so good for this Marty Supreme role, because it seems like it's all about passion and following your dreams, and that's who Timothy is. So it's really life imitates art imitates life type situation.
He could date a Jenner also. You forgot to mention that. The other the other names that I wrote down, and I'll explain why I wrote these people down. I wrote down Austin Butler. I think Timothy clears. I think Austin Butler was obviously great as Elvis. Everyone knows that. And then he was also in Dune 2. I thought he was really, really good in Dune 2. I think he's good, but I think Timothy clears, and obviously you do too. Florence Pugh, I wrote down. She's, I think, pretty fantastic, to be honest. Like, I think she's probably number 2 on that list of actors and actresses in their 20s. And then the other name I wrote down happened to be Mr. Tom Holland.
Mm.
And I think I agree with what you were saying a bit earlier, because I don't think he can be considered better than Timothy right now. Like, I think it's impossible to say that because he's only been Spider-Man, basically. I know he's been in a few things, but like he's Spider-Man right now. Him being in a Nolan movie, him being in the Odyssey in July, having that big month ahead of him, I think that could be the movie, kind of like the RDJ being in Oppenheimer, where it's like, oh yeah, I forgot this guy was an awesome. I didn't forget, but I'm saying a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I forgot this guy's an awesome actor. Like, yeah, of course he is. He's RDJ. So it's like this is the prove it role for Tom Holland come July. So I think that could be the role where it's like, oh, okay, and then we might see him in more serious things, like we've been seeing Timothée Chalamet in. So I think those are three people that like can maybe reach that potential. Maybe not Austin Butler, maybe, but Florence Pugh,
No,
and I think certainly Tom Holland.
I love your Austin Butler pick, to be honest. I actually think, yeah, I love your Austin Butler pick because I think Austin Butler is a star, a star. I don't know if you saw this movie Caught Stealing that came out this year, but that's really what solidified it for me because he was the lead in this movie and he wasn't Elvis, which, you know, we've seen so much of him as Elvis and doing the voice and stuff, and he really was a totally different character. And I mean, I just think Austin Butler can be a bona fide movie star. I just don't think he's had the breadth of work that Timothy has yet to be there. Um, but he's another example of someone who's taken all different types of roles and I think has a lot of potential. Florence Pugh, I agree. Number two, she clears all those, checks all those boxes. Um, I guess the only other name that I really pops in my mind is Zendaya. I think Zendaya is a star. I don't know if her acting skills are up there with Timothée Chalamet, but in terms of if we're talking about who is one of the biggest movie stars of today, Zendaya is definitely in that conversation. Um, but yeah, Timothy clears. He's the answer.
So I guess yeah, we're in total agreement because we each think Austin Butler's up there, Florence Pugh's up there, and then Tom Holland literally can't be in that conversation currently, but potentially could be based on how he does in the Odyssey and everything.
Yep. So
There you go.
I agree.
All right, Timothée Chalamet, the king of the 20s.
Hey, speaking of Timothée Chalamet for a sec, did you see his promo A24 Zoom interview thing that he did for
Yes.
Marty Supreme?
Wait, I did see that.
So, did you watch the whole thing? So funny.
I did watch the whole thing. I didn't realize like did that video blow up because it came across my YouTube and I just watched it.
Yeah, it's like everywhere. It's everywhere. It's like the smartest marketing tactic. That's the thing. Timothy also gets the movie business. You know what I mean? He knows how to put people in seats. He knows how to market a movie. He knows how to pick the right projects. And I just think, what are you going to show me?
What color is this?
That's orange.
What does it make you think of?
It makes me think of Marty Supreme. I was eating an orange today, dude, and I looked at the orange and I was like, oh, Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme Christmas Day?
Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme Christmas Day? Marty Supreme.
He's so funny. He's so funny.
I couldn't tell if it was a skit. I was like, wait, I hope this is a skit because he seems like extremely full of himself. And
he's a troll. He's a troll. He can get away with this stuff. He's so funny. But it's a genius marketing tactic, and it's one of those things that is like, now I want to see Timothy in a comedy, you know?
Yeah. Oh, he was great on SNL.
Oh yeah,
He's great on SNL.
He's always great on SNL.
Yep.
He's the best.
That he is. Speaking of young actors, I guess that might be the theme of today. Speaking of young actors and actresses, we got news that Sadie Sink, who we've known for a while now, is going to be in Brand New Day. It was announced yesterday that she's also going to be in Secret Wars, which is coming out in December of 2027. So it's not official for Doomsday. I think they're going to go the route of like nobody from Brand New Day is going to be in Doomsday. I think that's probably what they're going to do. And then there are rumors, by the way, that Tobey Maguire is going to be in Doomsday. I don't know if we want to dive into that or anything, but right now let's stick with Sadie Sink. Sadie Sink, it's still not been announced which character she's going to be. So I guess the first question before we go to the whole Secret Wars route is who do you think she's going to play?
Yeah, I mean, I really, for a long time, didn't have an answer because saying she's in a Spider-Man movie, like, I mean, she could be a billion different people. Obviously, there's some top guesses. A lot of people like to say maybe she's, because Zendaya's character is MJ, maybe she's Mary Jane, because the red hair and stuff, people think. But I think, if anything, her being in a movie like Secret Wars gives a little bit more direction as who she's going to be. The whole idea or concept, from my understanding of Secret Wars, is all these different superheroes are on this one planet called Battle World, and they're basically fighting each other. So that almost makes me think, okay, Sadie Sink has to be some sort of a superhero, and my mind, because it's a Spider-Man movie, immediately jumps to her being Spider-Gwen, some sort of Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen variant. So that's kind of where my mind was at when I saw that she's in Secret Wars. I'm like, okay, she's going to be Spider Woman. So, do you agree?
I think the second she was announced, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna be Gwen Stacy." Like
Mhm.
and we could be wrong, I guess, but yeah, I think that it was obvious, and people were saying the hair color, like, "Oh, she's a redhead," so maybe. But Zendaya is MJ. They made that clear, like especially even you have the No Way Home scene
They said
where they're
Watson.
like, like MJ, and then oh, Mary Jane, no, Michelle Jones, like it's yeah. So she is quite literally Peter's MJ. So this isn't. I don't think it's a new MJ. And yeah, I think it's Gwen. So and then I agree with what you said that it's likely a Spider Gwen they'll have her fight, which that'll be cool. So first we have Sadie Sink fighting Vecna, and then we have Sadie Sink fighting in the MCU. So that'll be pretty dope.
Look, the only other option that kind of comes to my mind, which I don't think is the case, but in Spider-Man Brand New Day, we do have a lot of different superheroes. We have the Hulk in it, we got Punisher, we got Spider-Man. The only other big redhead character outside of like Black Widow, which I don't even know if she's redhead in the comics, probably. The only other big redhead character I think of is like Jean Grey from the X-Men. What if it's I don't know. That's the only other
Trying to tie it in there.
maybe,
I mean,
but
that'd be so awesome. I would love that. That would be. It's you just got my hopes up because I don't. That'd be
well,
sick, but I don't
she'd
know if
be
that's.
it would be great because I would love to see when they reboot the X-Men a young X-Men cast, the whole idea of these being students or that are going through huge developmental periods, the whole idea of getting a mutant gene is a metaphor for going through puberty. So, I mean, I think having like teenagers or people that look like teenagers, she's probably a little bit older now, playing the X-Men would be great. But, this is all just a random speculation that probably isn't the case because it seems like a little much for a Spider-Man movie.
Now I got to look up if Jean Grey and Spider Man ever how many times they interacted in comics.
Probably a ton. Never everyone's
I
interacted with
guess
everyone.
everyone's interacted. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But
But no,
that's
it's hey,
exciting.
that's cool. I like that theory a lot. And yeah, we're probably right that it's Gwen, but that'd be so cool if it was Jean.
Now,
That'd be
now
very cool.
I said to you a few weeks ago that I think Sadie Sink has the most potential out of all the Stranger Things kids to be a movie star, film, like the biggest star out of all them. So to hear that she's going to be in probably one of the highest grossing movies of all time
If
just
not
means
the.
I'm right about another thing.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think the obviously Stranger Things, but the Taylor Swift music video was probably the thing that put her on the map for like all the Swifties. That was a big thing for her, and then of course 2022 with Running Up the Hill was iconic. Everyone and their grandma knows about that, and she put on the performance of a lifetime.
And then
And yeah, I think I
she did The Whale also, that movie The Whale. I don't know if you saw that, but
yep
another great performance by her right around the same time as the All Too Well. I think that's the Taylor Swift song, All Too Well music video. So
yep.
we'll see. I'm rooting for her.
Yeah, I think you're right about that because the competition for that is Caleb McLaughlin. Like I don't know.
I mean,
I think it's
Millie Bobby Brown.
yeah, but what's she been in? Like what movies? What hit movies has she been in?
A lot of Netflix stuff. She did that Enola Holmes thing. She just did that movie the Russo brothers directed. I'm forgetting the name,
All right, so
but
maybe I don't know ball when it comes to Millie Bobby Brown, but you know what? I agree. I agree with your take. I agree with your take
yeah,
about Sadie Sink.
yeah. I think
Even
I
though,
think she's better.
yeah, she's great. They're all great. They're all great. Um, so yeah, that's Sadie Sink, and then how about so Secret Wars? We don't have the list in front of us, but there have been a few names confirmed for Secret Wars. I know RDJ is one of them, Anthony Mackie is one of them, some of the Fantastic Four are in that, and Sadie Sink. So that it's kind of crazy that like all these guys who have been established, all these people who have been established, and then Sadie Sink, like it's
But we don't even know if Tom Holland's in it. So,
and we don't officially know who Sadie Sink's playing. I don't know. It is kind of crazy.
it's kind of a random report to come out, but definitely gets me excited. So
Yeah, no, it's pretty awesome. Great for her. Great for her. More MCU news. Ryan Coogler's next film is Black Panther 3. So there will officially be a Black Panther 3. Of course, we had Black Panther in 2018. That was right before Infinity War. Then we had Black Panther Wakanda Forever a few years ago. And now Black Panther 3 starring or featuring Denzel Washington.
Sorry,
my man. That's what he would say to that.
Yeah, that is so exciting. I'm so pumped. I mean, Ryan Coogler is one of the best directors working today. You said you recently saw Sinners, right?
Yes.
Which
I did.
was great. And I'm excited for him to conclude the trilogy. Obviously, the first Black Panther is an amazing achievement. One of the best MCU movies, in my opinion. I really unapologetically like the second one. I don't know your thoughts on it. I know some people are not the biggest fans of some of the decisions that were made. But I think that they were dealt a horrible, horrible card between Chadwick Boseman's passing, and I think they handled it the best way that they could for that time. As for where they go from here, I have a lot of faith in Coogler and Feige. He obviously cares a lot about this franchise and these characters. And the fact that an actor like Denzel would sign on even just solidifies that a little bit more. So, yeah, it's so cool. We're getting Denzel in the MCU. And then the other thing is, this will probably be after Secret Wars. So who even knows what the landscape of the MCU is going to look like? Does this mean we're going to have is Shuri still going to be Black Panther in this movie? Are we going to have T'Challa's son be Black Panther? Are they going to cast a new actor to be Black Panther? Are they going to cast an older actor? Is Denzel Black Panther? I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Shuri's not in Doomsday, right? So is she going to be in Secret Wars?
Shuri is in Doomsday.
She is in Doomsday. Okay.
She was on the chair. Letitia Wright.
So she's part of the Sam Wilson Avengers.
Maybe. We don't know yet, but yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Probably.
Two things. First of all, I agree with you on Wakanda Forever. They were dealt an awful hand. I think that opening scene of her reacting to basically Shuri reacting to Chadwick Boseman passing away, like that was the scene. There's really no other way to sugarcoat it. Heartbreaking. Theater was silent. Yeah, that was a very, very, very moving scene. And then at the end, they have a kid. He has a kid. So I don't know. I think it wasn't as good as the first one. It was, but I think it was like fine. I don't think it was bad. A lot of people lashing out, whatever. I think it was fine. So I agree with you on that point. Second point is Denzel. Is he going to do a Wakandan accent, or is he just going to be Denzel? Because it's Denzel. You can't ask him to change his voice, right? You can't ask him to change his voice.
Yeah. I've that has not crossed my mind. That's a great question, Noah. I think it all depends on what role he's playing. You know, I'd hope that if he's playing a Wakandan, he does the Wakandan accent, because that wouldn't really make sense.
But it's Denzel.
So he just gets the one exception in the entire MCU.
It's like Samuel Jackson gets the purple lightsaber because he's Samuel Jackson, not because it's Mace Windu, because he's Samuel Jackson.
And Denzel doesn't have to do an accent.
Yeah, I think these are the rules. These are the rules when you hire one of the coolest actors ever.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Excuse me. I'm pumped for Black Panther 3. I'm just glad he also gets to conclude his trilogy. I don't have a ton to say, honestly, because we don't really know anything besides these little snippets of information. So sticking with the MCU theme, we're going to play a game. Obviously, the Avengers, we talked about this last episode, the Avengers Doomsday trailer is releasing in theaters, along with Avatar 3, December 19th, I want to say? December, right. Let's go with it. Let's mid to late December, we'll say. That is when Avengers Doomsday trailer, the teaser trailer, is releasing. A lot of chatter online, it's only going to be 50 seconds. We don't know. We don't know for sure how long it's going to be. Regardless, it's a sneak peek, it's a tidbit. Everyone's going to be excited about it. Everyone's going to rush to the theaters to see Avatar anyway, probably. But those videos are going to be on Twitter. They're going to be on Instagram. Like it's going to be out there. So the game we have today, you're going to pick one thing that you think
that we'll see in the trailer, and one thing you want to see in the Avengers Doomsday trailer. So first we'll start with what do you think we'll see? We touched upon the think a little bit either 1 or 2 episodes ago. I believe it was last episode. But officially, what do you think that we will see in the trailer?
I think we're going to know our Avengers lineup. I think this is an Avengers movie, Avengers Doomsday, and we're going into this and we still have no clue who the Avengers are, right? We can assume, you mentioned earlier, Sam Wilson, maybe Shuri being on his team, but we weren't sure about that. My assumption is probably Thor's on that team, probably Ant-Man, but again, none of this is confirmed. So I think if you're having an Avengers movie, you got to know who your main Avengers are. We know who the side other groups are. We know we have the Fantastic Four. We know we have our new Avengers, the Thunderbolts, but we do not know who that core group of Avengers are. And I think that they have to tell us who the Avengers are for the Avengers movies. So that's the number one thing that I think is going to be in that trailer.
The Civil War, the way they did it for Civil War was incredible. Obviously, it's not the same, but Team Cap, Team Tony, they literally bring all the actors and actresses onto the stage, and then you got the two squaring off. Oh, so cool, so awesome. So I agree with you that I also want to know that. I also think that we could potentially see that.
Mm-hmm.
But my question to you is, how would they even do that? Would they literally write the names at like the end of the teaser? They would say like this team, this team, this team. Like how would you see that?
You can see there could be a clip of whatever Avengers campus is right now, wherever their headquarters are, and you see around a table Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and Sam Wilson and Shuri talking about this threat or talking about the new Avengers, you know what I mean? Or talking about whatever it may be, or about how they have to band together and the Avengers has been disbanded for this amount of time and it's finally time. There needs to be a shot, I think, that makes it very clear who your Avengers are for an Avengers movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. And my answer is very similar because I think that I touched upon this last episode, I know. I think there will have to be some sort of interaction between the groups. I think there will have to be. I know you're saying like show us the Sam Wilson's team in one shot. I agree with that, but there has to be. I think there's going to be some sort of, whether it's Yelena's group of the new Avengers and Sam Wilson's Avengers, maybe the Fantastic Four. I know they're all going to be in the Baxter building. At least that's what Kevin Feige or the Russo said several months ago, that they're all going to be in the Baxter building at some point. So maybe a shot of that. So yeah, I think some sort of interaction, because we've talked about it several times already. Characters haven't interacted a lot, and I think it wouldn't do any harm showing it in the trailer. I think that wouldn't do any harm at all.
Which characters would you mainly? What are 2 characters that you would love to see? Like, let's say the trailer ends, right, and all of a sudden there's a little snippet, like at the end of the Infinity War one, when it's Thor and the Guardian ship, and he's like, "Who the hell are you guys? Who would you like to see have that little moment, if that's the case?"
Johnny.
Okay.
And no, I want to say Bucky, but like that's been done. Like Rocket's already made fun of the Bucky's arm and everything. That has to. Johnny's definitely one of them. Johnny and Scott. Johnny Storm and Ant-Man, maybe.
Oh, and Ant-Man, yeah, and Scott Lang.
Yeah,
that could
maybe
be fun. That could be fun.
Them or Johnny and no, yeah. I'm sticking with that. Well, let's do Johnny and Ant-Man. Sure.
I'm gonna say Yelena, and like, imagine we get like a Yelena and Thor crossover. You know what I mean? Like one of the OGs with the future of the Avengers. I think that could be cool. Or even just a little Bucky Sam moment could be cool. Obviously, we've had a lot of those, but they're on 2 separate teams. It's obviously going to be a big plot point in Doomsday. That could be cool.
Yep. And then Bucky said that he talked to Sam in the after credit scene for Thunderbolts. So maybe we do get that scene in the movie, and then obviously maybe we get that scene or a clip of that scene in the trailer. So yeah, I'm excited for that too.
I'm
A lot of
pumped.
things to be excited about, man. A lot of things. Let's do the second one. One thing we want to see in the Doomsday trailer.
Yeah, well, I want to see Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, and I want to have a little bit of an idea of who this Doctor Doom is. One of the biggest criticisms that this casting of Robert Downey Jr. is getting is that it's a gimmick, it's unnecessary. Why is he Doom? You know what I mean? That's Tony Stark. Which Doom is this? What is he from a different universe? Is his name actually Tony Stark? Is his name Victor Von Doom? I would love to have just a little bit of an idea of who this is, who this Doom is. Whether we just get a second of a backstory or an idea of what universe he's from. I want to get a little bit of an idea. The movie's called Doomsday. I want to get an idea of who Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom is. I don't know if we're going to though. I could very easily see. This is why I want because I could very easily see them ending the trailer with a little shot of him putting on the mask or something, and that's it. I hope we get a little bit more than that.
Why was the Infinity War trailer so incredible? Because we saw a lot of Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
And someone who we've seen clips of, he's basically cameos in some movies, but was never like a main character of any sorts. We saw him a lot. We saw him talk a little bit about his motivation. That puts a smile on my face. Like there were some people were quoting Fat Thanos before Infinity War even came out. So we saw a lot of Thanos in that first trailer, and that's why it was so good. That's why I 1000% agree with you. I have the exact same answer that I want to see Doom. I have a two-parter for this, but the first part is 1000% Doom. If we see RDJ's face, that would be the cherry on top because I think that, yeah, that'd be really, really cool. And that image of his face in the Doom, or like when he takes off the Doom mask or anything, that would go viral. That would go crazy. So yes, Doom is my main answer. The other answer, you maybe don't feel the same way, but I want to see one clip of Ian McKellen. I want to see one clip of Magneto. I know they're probably going to die in the first scene. I know whatever, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But when I saw he was returning, I was so happy. I was so thrilled. Because, like, when's the last time we would have seen him? 2014? Days of Future Past? Unless
What
I'm
if it's
forgetting
just
something.
like the trailer ends and you go, Charles?
Yeah, that'd be
Charles.
sick. That'd be awesome. Magneto is so iconic. Obsessed with his story. Loved, like, every bit of him throughout the X-Men movies. And, yeah, I love him. So, yeah. Unlike Charles, it's not like he's done and then came back and it was like, all right, we get it. Like, he's Magneto. He's sick. He's awesome. Ian McKellen is awesome. So just seeing a clip of him would be like, okay, yeah, cool.
But you don't want to wait until the movie? Till the
No,
movie?
no.
I'd rather, if anything, see Patrick Stewart over Ian McKellen because we've seen Patrick Stewart somewhat recently in the MCU in Multiverse of Madness. Ian McKellen, to see him in the MCU for the first time, I want to see that on the big screen. I don't know if I want that revealed. I don't know.
Fair point. Fair point. That's why it wasn't my main point. That's why it was a part two. You know what? You've convinced me. I could. I'm an impatient person. Well, actually, no. You didn't convince me. I don't want to wait all the way until December of 2026. That's so far. No, I want to see it
See,
now. That's.
I get it.
I'm not that patient. I can't. Yeah, I can't wait.
I get it. I get it. But I used to be more like you. Now I've matured a little bit, and
Oh, okay.
I try and like I used to, try and find out all the spoilers and stuff before. Now I don't do that. I want to be, surprised and stuff. So I don't know. I got you though.
All right, maybe I'll mature one day. Until then, I want to see Ian McKellen. All right, well, Ryan, we have less than a month. Less than a month to find out if what we want to be in the trailer is going to be there, if what we think is going to be in the trailer is there. A reminder that the teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday, the next installment of the MCU, or I guess after Brand New Day, the teaser is going to be released December 19th, so make sure to get to Avatar Fire and Ash, releasing December 19th. Very pumped up.
Yeah. And with that, we just want to say again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you get the chance, please subscribe. It really means a lot to us. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers by Thanksgiving next week when me and Noah do our in-person episode. We're going to celebrate together 100 subscribers, hopefully. On top of that, feel free to follow us on Instagram. We're also on TikTok, and our podcast can also be found on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. With that all done, we will see you next week on Thanksgiving in real time.